I thought I knew how to recognize a dangerous man. After 36 years on the federal bench, I had watched criminals lie under oath, manipulate evidence, and hide terrible intentions behind warm smiles. But nothing prepared me for the night my daughter walked through 65 guests at her engagement party, gripped my arm beneath the glowing string lights, and whispered 4 words that changed everything. "Dad, call 911 right now. My name is Robert Callahan. I am 68 years old, and I live on a 340-acre ranch in Tennessee. After my wife Eleanor died from cancer, she made me promise 2 things. First, she wanted me to stop working constantly and finally enjoy the ranch we had built together. Second, she told me something I did not understand until much later. Trust people, but always verify. 3 years after her death, my daughter Diane met Marcus Delaney. He was 43, successful, charming, and apparently devoted to her. He worked as an independent financial consultant and seemed to know exactly what to say to everyone. He asked about my cattle, my timber, my mineral rights, and even my years as a judge. He was almost too perfect. Then one night I overheard him near the barn. His voice was cold and completely different from the man we knew. He told someone that everything was moving according to plan. When he noticed me, his expression changed instantly, and the charming smile returned. I remembered my wife's final words: trust, but verify. 3 weeks before the engagement party, Diane discovered the truth. Marcus had left his laptop open in the guest room. She noticed an Excel file with her initials and opened it. Inside were detailed records of our family assets: real estate, investments, the family trust, mineral rights, timber, holdings. The total came to $67 million, but the numbers were not the shocking part. Beside the assets was a detailed timeline explaining how Marcus planned to marry Diane, become co-trustee of the family trust, move the money through several accounts, and disappear before anyone could legally stop him. Diane closed the laptop before he returned. She smiled at him. She made coffee. She pretended everything was normal. For 3 weeks, she kept the secret because she was terrified she might be wrong. Then came the engagement party. 65 people filled the ranch. Everyone was celebrating. Marcus stood beside Diane, smiling for photographs and accepting congratulations. Then Diane came to me. She gripped my arm and whispered those 4 words: "Dad, call 911 right now." I did not confront Marcus. Instead, I waited. The next morning, Diane told me everything. We contacted our estate attorney and a private investigator named Victor Haynes. Within days, the truth became far worse. Marcus Delaney did not exist. His real name was Owen Garrett. He had used several identities before, including Daniel Reeves, Ryan Cololton, and Nathan Shaw. He had targeted wealthy families through carefully planned romantic relationships. One of his previous victims was Daniel Marsh. Owen had entered Daniel's life through his daughter Caroline, stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars, destroyed the family business, and disappeared. Daniel never recovered. He eventually took his own life, leaving Caroline behind. Caroline became a fraud attorney and spent years searching for Owen. Then Victor discovered another accomplice, Sandra Pewitt, a former legal professional, had prepared the trust documents for Owen's operations. She knew exactly how to structure the paperwork so that a new husband could gain control of the money. But Owen was still not the mastermind. Someone else had supplied him with private information about my family. That person was Harrison Webb, a former federal judge. Years earlier, I had helped expose financial misconduct connected to Webb. His career collapsed. His reputation disappeared, and he blamed me for everything. For 8 years, he planned revenge. He did not simply want my money. He wanted to destroy my daughter. The FBI became involved. Agent Brenda Kowalski created a plan. Diane would continue pretending she loved Owen, while investigators gathered enough evidence to arrest everyone involved. For 8 weeks, she smiled at the man she knew was planning to rob her. She planned the wedding. She held his hand. She listened while he talked about their future, and every weekend, Owen came to my ranch believing he was getting closer to $67 million. Then came the rehearsal dinner. 42 guests gathered at the hotel. Owen gave a beautiful speech about love and family, while I watched him knowing exactly what he intended to do. Later that night, Owen entered room 412. Sandra was waiting. I followed them. A hidden recorder captured their conversation. They discussed the trust modification forms, the bank transfers, Delaware, Lisbon, and multiple shell accounts. By Wednesday, they believed the entire $67 million would be beyond our reach. Then, Owen asked what would happen if I discovered the plan. Sandra laughed. She told him I had no legal authority to stop the transaction. They believed they had already won. Sent one word to Agent Kowalski. Now then I knocked on the door. Owen opened. His face changed immediately. Diane stood behind me. She looked directly at the man she thought she was going to marry and told him that she knew everything. For the first time, his perfect mask disappeared. Seconds later, FBI agents rushed inside. Owen Garrett was arrested. Sandra was arrested. The trust documents were seized. The entire operation collapsed. But before Owen was taken away, he revealed the truth. Harrison Webb had paid him $180,000. Webb had supplied information Owen could never have obtained by himself. He knew about Diane. He knew about the trust. He knew about our finances. Owen was the criminal. Webb was the architect. But the nightmare was not finished. During transport, Owen escaped. That night, he came to my ranch. He entered the east barn and tried to reach the safe containing our estate records. I found him there. He was injured, desperate, and no longer pretending to be charming. He told me I had destroyed his family when I sentenced his brother years earlier. I told him I was sorry for what had happened to his brother, but I was not sorry for protecting the victims his brother had defrauded. Owen attacked me. I fought back long enough for the deputies to arrive. As they dragged him away, he gave me one final name, Harrison Webb. The next morning, the FBI arrested Webb. Investigators traced the money and found the payments. Webb had secretly financed Owen's operation and supplied information about my family. He had spent 8 years planning revenge. Months later, Owen received 15 years in prison. Sandra received 8. Harrison Webb received 7. At the sentencing, Caroline Marsh found me in the courthouse hallway. She told me her father would never have wanted revenge. He would have wanted justice. Then she thanked me for refusing to pay Owen to disappear. Her words stayed with me because another father had once paid Owen millions to disappear, and that money had only funded his next crime. 8 months later, Diane and I stood together on the porch of the ranch. The cattle moved slowly through the pasture. The river reflected the fading sunlight, and for the first time in months, everything felt peaceful. Diane asked if I still remembered her mother's final promise. I told her I remembered every word. Trust. But verify. For years, I thought those words were about criminals. Now I understand they were about everyone. Because sometimes the person who looks safest is the person hiding the biggest secret. Sometimes love makes us ignore warning signs, and sometimes saving the people we love begins with nothing more than paying attention. Diane had trusted the wrong man, but she trusted her instincts, just in time. And that one decision saved more than $67 million. It saved our family. So let me ask you one final question. If the person standing beside someone you love looked completely trustworthy, but you discovered a hidden plan proving they had been preparing to destroy your family all along, would you confront them immediately, or would you stay silent long enough to uncover the entire truth?